I'm sure I could make one better, but the paladin build I have.
Oh, that Captain Safety was so successful because he's not meant to be the star of the show.
It worked really well though for the fight against the last guy
Dark
who.
Man.
Yeah. The guy who. But yeah, no, I have lots and lots and lots of hit points, and I'm almost never. I have very little risk of dying unless it's one of those weird fluke things where
But you're dead. You're a ghost.
I am a ghost. Although it's also the sprite for the Great Pixie who wanders around in here.
I accidentally reached the displayable damage cap last night.
Which is what?
Because you know when you do know...
What's the cap?
It's a bunch of exclamation marks and question marks.
Oh.
I think it's after... It means I pass, I think, sexillion damage or something.
So how did you manage to do that much damage?
Well, alright, so it was giving Witch Doctor a try. I was going around that realm in Stability 5 because things were working out pretty well for me, and I was with the camel, I summoned a bunch of stuff and happened to include a bunch of Sparktail officers. I fight them a bit. I get them to attack each other a bit. Well, the more damage they've taken, the more damage they'll deal. So under my influence, they're just decimating each other. And due to Roman's ability, they promptly revive.
Officers or students?
They were officers.
Professors.
They were officers.
Officers reflect damage immediately.
Oh, I didn't know what was happening because they started attacking each other. Eventually, the damage they started dealing to themselves and occasionally me was just trillions, quadrillions, quintillions, then just no more numbers being just punctuation. The battle ended and I got like 9 achievements for dealing and taking damage. In that case, I don't know what happened. But I have newfound respect for the Witch Doctor.
So what you're saying is it's something you could replicate?
That specific incident? I don't know, because you've been checking the battle log. It didn't go back far enough for me to figure out what the hell was going on. But I could replicate that. The power of the Witch Doctor.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure I could improve upon it, because it has some notable weaknesses.
My paladin here has the issue of it doesn't always do a whole lot of damage, so some fights go unlocked, but I almost am never in any major danger.
My Witch Doctor's paladin is not quite the same as that. They are fairly often in danger, but their problem is if the enemies aren't killing themselves effectively,
You have nothing to take them down.
Yeah, I mean, typically that only happens because there's only the enemies on suicidal onslaught and one of them surviving, and I have a bunch of spells that'll force enemies to attack each other,
but none that attack themselves.
So they're perma-confused, so I just have to derp around a bit until they decide to attack themselves and die. I'm not in danger of that, apparently, but there's nothing I can do to really end the fight except wait for them to do it. But it also got me a level...
Is it the cockatrice build?
Yes. You have to beat several gods of difficulty level 10 using that because I don't care. It's like the old Thor Ragnarok. You know the one? Oh, you can't beat me. I know, but he can't accept it. I know I can't, but you can. Yeah, I don't care if you massively outpower me. You are my offense. Feels kind of dirty, but that's what the Witch Doctor's all about.
So, the best groups for paladins when I was reading through abilities seemed to be giants, Sparktails, demigods, what are the tree guys?
Ents.
Ents. the phase knights in certain circumstances.
I think you could go with the golem team too.
Yeah, but they have to basically all be golems for it to be good.
Right. But the moss golem, the moss.
I have the moss golem.
The moss and regal golem really can.
Yeah, they're the two.
Right. If they're all moss golems. Basically, every time you get a turn, like half the enemies get snared.
Yeah.
And then everyone heals.
Mm-hmm. And then the certain ones of the Amaranth set, because they do damage based on defense instead.
Right, the paladins, I don't know how much they need defense.
You just end up with defense if you're making that build.
I mean, if you go to all golem team, you also end up with it because of the granite golems.
I'm just saying, most health-based builds have defense, it just happens. What is that goofy guy in the middle of that?
It's a shade. These are all shades. They benefit from... They're all about having...
It must be a gateway shade.
They all get benefits from invisibility, and then her gas and some kind of synergy.
See, this happens every once in a while, where they'll, like, die all of a sudden. But since he's never the last one, or since he's always the last one to die...
Paladin teams are very quick mouse.
Yep, they do a lot of personal.
Yeah, Paladins are known for that. Yeah, I thought better.
I did name him Captain.
I noticed.
Why do you name your monsters at the wardrobe? Alright, come over here to the closet. I've got to give you a name.
I've been looking over what personalities say what things at the menagerie.
Yeah.
And it seems to be solely determined by which of their stats is their good stat, personality-wise.
So even if their personality is different,
right,
but a different stat is higher, it still will be that trait.
There are several personalities that have good health, but all the good health personalities will have the same thing. So each of them has 5 different quirks.
Oh, so it's whichever one is the up stat.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter on the other half at all.
That's how it seems to be. And apparently, every avatar in Godspeed also has 5 different things they can say depending on personality. Since it really doesn't make sense for avatars to just all have a shared dialogue. That would make no sense.
What about, like, Fergas and Tiny Quick and...
I'm assuming they have that since they don't belong to any ranks other than their own. I've never checked that. I've only checked it so far with features where I have enough to check all 5.
Oh, you did them yourself, you mean?
Yes. None of them were like hilarious, really. And some of them made me smirk.
I thought that the main thing you said was several of them are really cute.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much all the carbuncles are all cute. I know the speed carbuncles just calling it an adorable little shit.
And then there's the salamander with its tail, which that's not even a thing for them.
Apparently there are
It's a
2
gecko
different
thing.
salamanders that lose their tails. One just, its tail just lying there. Another one you see just bite off its own tail. And you're like, okay, I guess it'll be fine. I hope that grows back. And there's like, yeah, it'll grow back.
Then...
And
Have you
one-
tested any of the Goldfish yet?
No, I do not have enough of them for that. I did get amaranths. And most of them are all just pointing out how they're all mysterious. You really can't concern much about them except for one where it's like spinning around and you think that's cool.
That sounds accurate.
The abominations all, since of course I have plenty of abominations,
Accidental.
yeah, all just talk about how they want you to shut up and they just don't want to talk.
So do you have lots of books then by now that you just haven't
No.
been using, or what?
No, I just sat in a bunch until hopefully I get at least one of each type. Because that's not too expensive.
And you have enough essence that it doesn't even matter.
But essence is...
Essence is not the high risk
Yeah,
money. It's mostly brimstone and...
I'm running pretty low on everything except essence.
Yeah, for me, Brimstone seems to be the biggest one. Granite, most of the time, as long as you keep going through floors, you're never gonna run out of granite.
I'm always kind of...
Power is somewhat risky if you use the candle a lot or you level up a lot of
That's
creatures.
where I use it. I never use the candle more than 3 times per realm, but leveling up, that's where I use most of my power.
I never do more than 4 per floor.
And Brimstone is really easy to burn through Brimstone.
It's very easy to burn through Brimstone.
Crystal, less so.
So like this team, when you trade them out, you don't even have to switch any of their stuff because I gave them all their own helmets. Especially since they like to provoke so much.
My Witch Doctor team also is all about hats.
Why helmets? Do you want them to provoke?
No, I still don't have any artifacts where you kind of have a spell in every slot. And even helmets don't have high hit points.
Because they keep taking damage?
Well, because I couldn't really figure out whether I wanted to be offensive or defensive, but I don't remember when I made the decision if it was based on this or not, but the Witch Doctor has all he needs permanent.
Well, what's that have to do with Dayton?
Well, it means if you have high hit points but not high defense, you're going to take a lot of damage and still survive. The more damage you take, the more damage Cursed does to them.
So in other words, it's like weak power.
Yes, except half the time the enemy is just beating up their friends. Very effective.
So would the same team work then? Does it even matter?
What do you mean?
Would my Paladin team hypothetically work for them?
Not nearly as well. They'd be more survivable, but then you destroy themselves much less.
Why is that?
Well, without Cockatrice, they wouldn't be perma-confused.
Oh! I was thinking it was Witch Doctor for a second. No,
Yeah, I'm talking
I see
about Witch Doctor.
I see what you... No, I thought it was a trait of Witch Doctor.
Oh,
I see what you
Perma-Cursed is
Yeah.
a Witch Doctor. Perma-Confused is Cursed. And mummies are also good there because
Yeah.
they're 2 mummies that will really help you out if the enemy is perma-cursed.
Yeah, and then there's also a spell that makes it so that when enemies are cursed, they automatically attack all of
That
their
is my
allies.
most used spell, Flood of Darkness.
Yep, it's a
I
really
picked
useful
several
spell.
boost spells because you're a Witch Doctor and everybody attacks themselves. It'll hurt them a lot more than it hurts you. Also, the spells are the Crushing Impact
Crushing impact.
from Nature and Mind Control from Sorcery.
I think that's one of the spells that I have with mine right now. Is Crushing.
Flood of Darkness is the best Witch Doctor spell.
I'm sure.
For sure. Boost spells are just so unreliable. They don't cast nearly enough. Yeah, cast Flood of Darkness. Usually there'll be maybe like it's rare that there'll be more than one enemy left standing afterwards. I don't care for the gods.
But then Crushing Impact is useless.
Yeah. If I run out of Flood of Darkness, I have something to fall back on. It's another thing I might cast at the start due to my Chaos Salamander. And allow me to defeat the Saros finally, because when your enemy mimics everything you do 6 times over, that's terrible. But if they mimic casting Flood of Darkness a bunch, I don't care. They're the ones who are cursed, not me. Make everyone attack themselves, that's still fine. It'll hurt them more than me.
So what you're saying is it's a really good team for yourself.
Yeah, and then I got the Saros skin like, outfit for my wardrobe, and I didn't even know that existed. I guess I can be her now.
Yeah, you can get outfits of each of the gods.
Apparently, what by fighting things.
Yeah, it's a rare drop. It's like the plushes and the skins for...
What are your current plans for the Gate of the Gods? I'm assuming you haven't messed with it yet.
I haven't unlocked it yet. I should get it very soon.
Ah.
I'm still trying
Oh
to
yeah. It's a pretty lengthy project.
Yeah.
It takes 20 floors at least. Again, because I'm missing Torin to need to prove it. I still don't know what the gimmick for Torin's Gate of the Gods fight is, though I have beaten him. Because his description is in Torin speak, and I don't know what it means.
What is his description?
Some of the lines of, say hello to my little friends, insert profanity here.
Oh.
And I don't know what that means.
It means lots and lots of imps, more than 6.
No.
Yes.
But he destroyed himself. I felt that Tauren's special ability wouldn't be particularly defensive in nature. It won't work out all against Freedom, but again, all you do is take my Blasty team and give them a sorcery shapeshifter. It won't work on Lister either, probably.
Because
His
the
is just,
healing.
No, it's just an endurance battle.
Oh yeah.
It just lasts until you win. And I don't know that team would do well at that. You want the Siege Master would be best for that, I'm pretty sure.
Or Paladin.
Or Cleric. Cleric would be good.
Very good. The only thing you gotta make sure is it's not a team where you have to resurrect a lot, because there's still a cap on resurrection.
Erebus is a terrifying trait at first, before you realize that it's probably not going to come into effect, where every other turn she gets, she kills your entire team. Automatically. Which, I mean, if you're completely unprepared, you just lose if it gets to her second turn. Which I feel is unlikely. But also, if you have, like, a Captain Safety, that's fine. It's fine.
I have a bunch of blurs, but I still don't think I can spell it. Reflection of thought.
I get that too.
Searcher.
I'm getting Nox Pit currently. I don't know if I'll ever use him, but...
Well, I'm getting all of them. Let's see, what's the new one that I should have just got?
I need to get
Oh,
that.
I'm still short on that. Okay, well, I won't do all of my quests. I'll just do get stuff quests.
I realize that Aurum actually might be a very good addition to the Kitsune team.
Why? What's his special thing?
Your creatures can equip any spell gem, regardless of class.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, Evoker already lets you do that. And
although it does break it out of being stuck in Evoker.
yeah, and when your creatures manually cast a spell, they cast one more spell they have equipped of each element.
Does it cost a charge?
Well,
because that could be a problem outside of Evoker.
Right, exactly. Kitsune is meant for Evoker. That said, I think with generous use of Generous, it might still work out. Because only it specifies they have to be non-ethereal.
And besides, even if that's the case, it still would be good for Cabalist.
Right. So yeah. Aurum would basically, so in addition to the initial spell onslaught on turn 0, you get another spell onslaught every time one of your creatures manually casts a spell. So they really wouldn't lose that much steam after turn 0. And that's on top of the upgrades he could get theoretically if they weren't so damn expensive. What? Oh, squeaky chair? Scream!
So I have Griffin and Harpy and Raven.
Bird?
And then I have Bulbous and Carbuncle. I don't have Bulbertine right now. But Carbuncle's pretty elusive.
I think it's way more easy than Bulbatinger.
Unless it ends up being docile.
No, Carbuncle. It's absolutely no doubt in my mind. Aquamarine Carbuncle. 100% except for its stats and ability.
But what about the white and black ones? There also he likes neutral color spot.
There are no white and black ones.
None? This one's black.
I mean, it's black, but it's not white and black.
No, I mean the white and the black one. I thought there was one of each.
The white one is it's the Aquamarine.
Oh.
No. Here's a Reaper sliding around.
He was facing the wrong way, and when you reverse them, they do this.
It's upside down. You could put it like that. Plushies can do that.
I had an urge to, but I didn't get it. Paintings, I did get 2 new paintings.
For an ultimate team, I'd want the avatar to be fused. And I can think of a kind of perfect fusion partner, but fusing avatars is scary.
Dumpling party painting.
I have a dumpling tower statue.
I don't have that yet. I do have the fireworks. There are a lot of nice paintings.
Yeah, I think the Arcus Vulpus would be the ideal thing to fuse into Aurum.
of everything out there
that I can think of. Because it's going to be very useful in basically any case where you would
use him.
Because Darkus Vulpus makes spells not your element 75% stronger, and Aurum is one of the only reasons you're going to be casting spells not of your element.
Yeah. The only other time would be with an evoker.
And if you're using Aurum's ability, you are going to cast spells of other elements.
And rainbows.
Right.
They're both rainbow themed.
Indeed.
However, you wouldn't want to fuse Aurum into the other one because then you lose Aurum.
You can't. You can't.
Oh, you can only fuse into.
You cannot fuse an Avatar's trait onto anything else. Mind you, I didn't know this. I'm glad I know this before I learned the hard way. You want to use your avatars before upgrading, or you'll lose their upgrades when you fuse them.
It's really stupid.
I don't know if it's a bug or what.
I have another Nintendo sticker to stick on my computer screen.
Thankfully, I haven't been able to fuse anything yet, so. But I haven't been able to upgrade anything, and I haven't had the guts to fuse it.
Well, I wouldn't mind fusing Aurum with that because it does sound fitting, and it's not something that I feel like I would regret down.
That would also mean you wouldn't have an Arcus Vulpus on the team, which is unfortunate since I think it's very your style.
It's very pretty.
You'd have to have just another Vulpus. I mean, there are plenty, but...
I mean, you're still gonna have rainbow themes because
of Aurum.
Aurum is still rainbowy.
I wonder how he'd look like in that. Because with his normal colors, it looks like he has boxing gloves. Which I think is very silly.
Hondo. This is the most officially Nintendo screen you've ever seen.
Especially for not being made by Nintendo. Aurum is also one of the easiest gods to fight, I feel.
Only new plush that I have.
I'm not sure how much hitting 3 times your lowest stat hurts.
I got it, Tsuchinoko.
It's Fat Snack. This month should be the update. Oh, no.
I like the design of this, but I'd much rather it be tiled instead of just the whole floor.
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't look good with your other things currently.
This one's not bad. Oh, these two are nice.
That Aurum one gives you kind of a casino.
No, casinos have like kitschy, more like this kind of.
Oh, well, I think it's pretty. It's
video game casino.
Soci. I don't know why Soci is a thing, but I appreciate it enough. Everyone's Jesusing it out.
Yeah, it would make the hippo happy though. He's wanting.
Yeah, but then their quote wouldn't make it. Well, I don't know if it makes sense. Well, because there is water, just can't reach it.
Not falls.
I don't think Lathe fits.
Unless you're making a Bowser castle.
I mean, yours. I mean, I guess this could be a Bowser castle, but I don't think so.
The only walls I can find are the ones from the gods, as far as I understand. They're the only walls.
I haven't checked mine in quite.
You have to buy them. That's, I mean, the only ones I've ever found. If there are others, I don't know where they are.
Scream!
So also my paladin team was doing completely fine, and I completely forgot to give any of them relics for like 15 floors.
I've had that a few times. Witch Doctor seems to be really good for high realm instability because they don't care, and your enemy being more powerful can benefit you just as much. As long as it's not defensive buffs.
So once we get the Gate of the Gods, I will let you have fun with the ones you think are...
You don't want to save up?
I already have fun with you.
Right. Because, I mean, if you want to be ultra efficient, you wouldn't want to do any until you can beat them on... You think you beat them on difficulty 5 or 10, but...
Why is that?
Because that way you can get more with fewer keys, but...
With fewer keys?
Yeah.
Oh, just start at their highest level, you mean?
Right, though I do also feel you need to do a test fight to test the waters and feel what you can beat.
But the other thing to keep in mind is your level's the same no matter what.
Right. But
so if you're prepared, you're prepared.
Right, but like better relics and such.
Yeah, I guess you could cap up your relics, but...
Or just a more efficient team. better master. But better...
I mean, the most efficient things you're gonna have would be not until you got all the way down to the guild, because that's where a lot of the really efficient ones are.
As is, I'm pretty sure I could get one for 3 keys. If your build is really good, maybe 2.
Do you think that you could make my cleric team more efficient?
Yes.
Because I feel like it could survive the most. See what? This is where I have them all die.
Okay.
And then they all come back. But I don't know why. I don't know what the Plague Doctor does that does that. Because it's only been versus the Plague Doctor where I've had that situation.
That's a good master. I like how the Cockatrice Masters don't use Cockatrice Master because they're technically a team of all Griffins.
Oh, they don't have many Cockatrice?
They have 3, but they use their Cockatrice to mimic Griffin, so it's technically a Griffin team.
Oh, so it doesn't count as Cockatrices.
Right, because Cockatrice are big on...
Well, they might have it on one of the weapons still.
Well,
it would be meaningless.
Unless you just take out all the Griffins. Then you're confused. So, I guess I could work. They're not scary. They're basically just the Griffin Master, but weaker.
Well, the other thing, though, about the Cockatrice team is you can take out a team of all Cockatrice if you're not in AI. If you're all confused, but you don't do direct damage, then it's automatically not a threat.
Right, but most teams do. But no, I think I could make a wicked cleric team. I have some thoughts in my brain. I need to do some looking at the bestiary and going,
Well, that was... I had someone actually ask me what I was building during the Paladin thing, and I was so busy reading I didn't notice it until they must have already left, because I never saw them replying to me.
Oops.
I felt really bad, because I actually would have been happy and engaging in that conversation, and I just totally zoned out the chat. I felt so bad.
I'm currently like a bit over halfway through my second week, just in Shackler 2. With Witch Doctor, which is probably like the least efficient way to beat him.
I think that Shackler is probably... An Inquisitor team is like the biggest threat you could have.
What?
Isn't that the one that doesn't take direct damage?
Shackler is the one who only takes indirect. Yeah, he doesn't take direct damage. Yeah. What does that do with Inquisitors?
You just have your buddies beat him up instead. It counts as indirect damage.
Oh, Inquisitors. I was thinking of the Inquisitor specialization.
No.
There are a lot of ways to do it. A Pyromancer would probably have a...
Yeah, because of burning. Yep.
A Smog team would do fine. A Pillwitz team would do fine.
Well, I guess
Doctor?
it would be better to see which of the stats he has the highest. Because if it's attack or if it's health, poison or bleeding or whatever might be more effective.
Well, it's not based on his stats.
Oh, I thought it was.
No, I think it's based on the Inflictor's stats.
Oh.
And I don't know what happens if you poison him again. It's a mystery.
Uh-oh, this is actually a bad plan. Defending, he'll run away.
I don't like how if you letting the treasure golem defend, escape doesn't count as sparing him.
They don't like
you don't get the achievement for doing it. So the only thing is to actually forfeit while fighting one, and that's expensive.
Crushing impact won't do anything.
Nope. Witch Doctor also bad against treasure golems because they're not going to really attack, you know. Had a lot of damage. Entangle seems like a decent idea. It might keep you from escaping.
Except that you would have to actually be ensnared. Let's ignore that one.
Yeah, both times I fought Shackler, my team was completely unprepared for it. They didn't really do any efficient way of hurting him, so he just ended up slowly dying to the just damage over time stat debuffs I incidentally afflicted him with. Which he is resistant to, actually. Everyone can only 3 on its turn, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Falcon kick.
I mean, I wouldn't have expected him to say much more than that.
Tartarus is great.
Although it's odd that he says you kill him bad, but then he also says you revived them just to kill them again good.
Well, the problem is it was a treasure golem.
Yeah, I
Apparently
think it
they're,
has to
like,
do with how
sacred
innocent
creatures.
they are. I guess is the hypothetical reasoning. But I still think it's just deliberately mean-spirited humor.
Yeah. Tartarus, I think, is, in my eyes, the funniest god, which is remarkable since,
He's so succinct in everything he says.
well, because he's the god of, like, punishment and torture and suffering and such. That doesn't sound funny, but he is.
No, I just mean the fact that he's so succinct also seems weird for it to be funny. Where's all my extra monsters? I want to fight the extra monsters. Where are you?
Wendy's Hotel.
That it let out a scream and it caused more monsters to
Yeah,
appear. I don't see any monsters.
You're missing a big piece of the map, it looks, somehow.
Maybe they're fake monsters.
Yeah,
There they are.
Realm Quest is also very incomplete.
It's over to the left.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to being a team, but my goblet hates clerics.
I don't always focus on the goblet if I'm testing out a team. I'll just do a couple floors. Usually I do one really low floor just to make sure I don't have to attack my way through.
I plan on doing a low floor for experimentation with Doombringer, because, again, that is the least clear specialization to me, but I feel it has so much
And the
potential.
Windrunner.
No. I understand what the Windrunner's abilities do. I just don't understand how his abilities really fit together in a cohesive theme. The Doombringer's abilities, I literally don't know quite how they work.
The Spellweaver I don't see being useful.
I do not like the spell at all.
Like, I think that it's consistent in its theme. It's just I don't see how I
It's
could make
good.
it worth doing, because you usually want to be done so quick that most of the
I-
things you're building up don't.
Right. I feel the best way to play Spellweaver is to pretend Color Wave doesn't exist.
Yeah, so that's what I mean.
If you can cast it, good, but basically, I feel the Spellweaver is just kind of a worse evoker.
Yeah, because you have to cast one of each spell type, don't you?
Yes. Which, manually, that's the kicker, manually, which means it takes 5 of your turns.
Mm-hmm.
And they have great things like when you cast a spell manually, you also cast the spell above and below it. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't have anything to maintain your charges like Kabbalist and Evoker do, but
Yeah, that's the biggest problem with caster-themed ones, is especially if it takes a long time to do, how are you going to benefit from the...
see what I like about Doombringer is
Thing, if
it
you
lets
can
you
run
chain
out
a
of
billion
spells.
things together, but it's not just casting, it's everything. And everything but casting is not going to run out of charges.
Well, and there are ways to make weapons do the effects for you, so you don't have to